Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
In last class, we stopped the short run supply. So we studied total revenue, total cost approach, and marginal revenue and marginal cost approach to find the level of output that maximize the firm output at the short run. So the marginal revenue approach says in the marginal revenue, marginal cost, the firm will get maximum profit. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost. In the competitive market, marginal revenue equal to the price because the firm demand, the demand for firm product is horizontal line at the market price. So the firm demand that price, marginal revenue, average revenue, all are same. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost, that condition for maximizing profit then is equal to price equal marginal cost. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost, that condition it's for the profit is for all the market. marginal revenue. When marginal revenue equal marginal cost, the producer will get higher profit or minimum loss. If the firm get profit, that is higher profit. When the marginal revenue equal marginal cost, if the firm get loss, that is minimum loss. If they produce more than or less than the output level where marginal revenue equal marginal cost, then they will get more loss. So the marginal revenue equal marginal cost is the profit maximizing condition, and also minimum loss condition also. The firm will produce up to the price equal minimum average variable cost. If the price above the minimum average variable cost, firm will produce and supply even loss. But price below the minimum average variable cost, the firm will not produce because the loss more than the fixed cost loss. So when the price equal minimum average variable cost, the firm is running in the loss, but the loss equal to fixed cost. If the price above the minimum average variable cost and below the minimum average total cost, then firm is losing, but part of the fixed cost they are recovering. All the variable cost they recover, and the part of fixed cost also recovering. So when the price is between the minimum average variable cost and minimum average total cost, firm will running at the loss, but they are producing because they recover all the variable cost and part of the fixed cost. Then if they shut down, they loss greater than the running because that loss equal to the fixed cost. So then even loss they are running. Then the price between the minimum average variable cost and minimum average total cost. Price above the minimum average total cost, the firm get economic profit, positive profit. When the price below the minimum average variable cost, they will not produce because they will lose fixed cost and part of variable cost also if the price below the minimum average variable. So they will not produce. If the price below the minimum average variable cost, they will not produce. When the price equal to minimum average variable cost, that is we call shutdown point. That is the producer is indifferent whether to shut down or run, because whether they produce or not, they will incur that fixed cost loss. So the supply curve of that producer is the portion of marginal cost curve above the minimum average variable cost. Marginal cost curve go through the minimum average variable cost. So the portion of marginal cost curve above the minimum average variable cost is the supply curve of this competitive firm. This we are studying the firm in a competitive market. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost. They are in the marginal cost above the minimum average variable cost. That is the supply. So you can see above the minimum average variable cost, the marginal revenue, the price increase, then marginal revenue curve shift upward, then they will produce different level of output that give maximum profit. So that marginal cost curve is the firm supply curve above the minimum average variance. So supply curve show the level of output at different prices the producer are willing and able to supply. That is the supply curve. Supply curves shows the different combination of different amount of commodity that producer are willing and able to sell at different prices. So that firm supply curve in a competitive market is the portion of marginal cost curve. So the different price, the marginal revenue, that price curve is marginal revenue, that different prices, the price equal marginal cost or marginal revenue equal marginal cost given by this portion of marginal cost curve, that is the supply curve. So the marginal cost curve above the average variable cost become the short-run supply curve of the firm in a competitive market. The where price equal minimum average variable cost, that is the point, shutdown point. Below that price minimum average variable cost, firm will not produce and sell. So changes in firm supply. So changes in firm supply curve can occur when shifting the marginal cost. Marginal cost shift. So that is if the marginal cost shift, then firm supply curve shift. But the marginal cost curve can shift if the input prices change or technology change. If input price increase, supply curve shift leftward, that means supply decrease. Input prices decrease, marginal cost shift rightward, then that means supply increase. If better technology used, then supply curve shift rightward, marginal cost shift right, and supply increase. So the industry supply curve is the sum of individual supply. We studied in the earlier chapters. The supply curve, market supply is the horizontal summation of individual producer supply. So industry supply, industry demand, that is market supply, market demand. So that determine the market price. We studied these things earlier. So now we will see here the industry graph. So the market demand and market supply, industry demand and industry supply. The industry supply is the summation of market supply, marginal cost of all the firm in the competitive market. Horizontal summation of individual firm supply is the market supply. So market demand and market supply determine the price. And at that price, this single firm margin, that price, market price is the marginal revenue and price curve that intersect marginal cost at the level of output date. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost at that output level. So that is the level of output firm should produce to get the maximum profit. So 111 into 8, $880, $88 revenue. The cost, average total cost per production, average total cost ATC is less than 110. So the total cost is less than the total revenue. So then the firm get economic profit because price is above the minimum average total cost. The firm get economic profit in the short run in this competitive market. Competitive firm must take the price that is established by industry supply and demand. Now we studied short run. In the short run, get economic profit. So if the short run market price is above the minimum average total cost, firm will get economic profit. If the firm below the average total cost and above the minimum average total cost, then firm get loss but is still producing. Even loss they produce because they cover all the variable cost and part of the fixed cost. If they don't produce, their loss is more than the when they are running, producing even loss because loss equal to fixed cost otherwise. Then if the price below the minimum average variable cost, they will not produce. So because loss is greater than the fixed cost, then shutdown is better than produce. So then in the short run, there is a possible for single firm to get economic profit, loss, and zero profit, normal profit. Now we will see in the long run. So in the short run, firm has one input is fixed. They change the level of output by changing the variable input. Now, in the long run, they have enough time to buy more machinery, more building, more labor material, so produce more by changing all the input because time is there. So assumption, so long run we will study long run profit maximization. So to interpret easily long run equilibrium, we make this assumption, entry and exit. So only. So we say in the short run, no entry, no exit. So time is not enough. Any new firm come and produce that product. And also existing firm cannot leave the industry because they cannot sell all the machinery and buildings. It needs time, so they cannot leave the industry. So no entry and no exit. Now in the long run, if there is a economic profit, new firm can come and produce this product. And also any firm they are getting loss, they can sell all their fixed input and leave the industry. But in the long run, they can change the other inputs also. Any input they can change and they can produce the output they want. But to explain the long run equilibrium easily, we consider in this interpretation only exit and entry, not the changing the input. So and we make another assumption, all the firm has identical cost, but the principle we develop it's same, even they have different identical costs, but it is difficult to explain having all complex. So but if we assume all firm has identical cost curve, then it is easy to explain some principle. So then we say entry and exit only identical cost. Then also another assumption we make, constant cost industry. So even 1,000 firm, 2,000 firm, 10,000 firm produce that product, the input price will not change, we assume. So to produce, we need input. If there is 10,000 firm, 10,000 firm demand inputs. Then there is a market for inputs and price determined. So that price, in that price, they will buy the material and labor. But here we assume if we more firm enter, then even the demand for input increase, input price will not increase. That means the cost curve will not shift. So if the one reason for cost curve shift, one is input price and the technology. Here we assume input price and technology also same. So input price and technology is not changing. So the constant cost industry. So identical cost is there. All firms have same cost curve, and this cost curve will not change because of constant cost industry. And we assume entry and exit. So why we make this assumption? To explain this goal of the analysis. From this assumption, we will show in the long run price equal to minimum average total cost. So we are going to show in the long run we will have equilibrium price equal to minimum average total cost, and also we will show new firm entering eliminate the profit of the older firms, and exiting some firm exit leaving the industry eliminate if there is a loss of other firms. So we are going to show these three things by making the three assumptions. So now we will see how the firm behave in the long run. So now the market demand industry demand D1 S1. So initially market supply is S1, market demand is D1. The price determined by this market is $50. At the $50, this single firm average total cost equal to the price. So that price equal to the minimum average total cost. Marginal cost curve go through this. So when at this price, what level of output this firm produce? The marginal revenue equal marginal cost. So the price is 50, then marginal revenue is 50, marginal cost, and this marginal revenue curve is horizontal line always for the perfect competitive firm, and marginal cost. So marginal revenue equal marginal cost here. That is the level of output give maximum profit for this single firm. So they will produce 100 unit because marginal revenue equal marginal cost here. So this single firm produce 100 units at the price 50. So like this, there are several firms. We assume identical cost. So there are many firms like this. Then all the firm get now zero profit. So because price into 100 is the total revenue. Marginal cost, a minimum average total cost also 50. Price equal here minimum average total cost. So total cost and total revenue are same. So this single firm get zero economic profit, normal profit, zero economic profit. You should not think they are not, they get normal profit. Normal profit means the firm, owner running this firm, that owner get the salary from this firm, get uh, as a profit or something. If he works somewhere else as a manager, how much salary he will get, that is included in the average total cost. So this single firm cover all the explicit cost and all the implicit cost, and including the manager salary. So they get zero economic profit. So that includes that owner salary also. So they got normal profit. So now suddenly demand for this product increase. So D1 to D2, the demand curve shift rightward. So if the demand shift, what will happen? No change in the supply immediately. S1 like that. So price increase to $60. So now if the price $60, now this firm will produce more, their marginal when equal marginal cost here. So they will produce more than 100 and they got economic profit. Now price above the minimum average total cost. So now this firm get economic profit. So because of this price increase, then this is long run. Now after this price, the price change, this demand change, there are enough time. We say enough time, 1 year or 2 year. Then other firm see the older firm existing in this industry get economic profit. So now new firm come because of economic profit. So they come and produce. We already say there is no barrier in the competitive firm. There is no barrier to come any new firm come and produce. So they come and produce. Then market supply is summation of individual firm supply. So if the new firm come and produce, then industry supply curve shift little by when the new firm enter. So S1 supply curve shift rightward. So when the new demand curve D2 and the supply curve will determine the price. So the new demand curve D2 is after change, it is there like that. Then new firm enter, the supply curve S1 shift rightward. When new firm enter it. So then new firm enter, then price will go down. So new supply curve shift, new firm enter, then price will go down. So then price from 60 to started to go down, then new firm enter. So new firm enter, then price will go down and reach the earlier $50. Then supply curve become S2. Then price become the earlier price 50. Then all the firm already exist and all the new firm enter. All the firm now get zero profit. So then the other new firm will not enter because the firm see now the firm get zero economic profit, all the firm. So the supply curve shift up to S2. So when new firm enter, eliminate the profit and the long run equilibrium. Now the again firm reach the equilibrium, price equal to minimum average total cost. So the long run price equal to minimum average total cost. The firm entering eliminate the profit. Then we will see the example. So now the D1 and S1 demand D1 S1 determine the price, that is 50, and that $50 a firm minimum average total cost equal that price, that marginal revenue equal marginal cost. Then the firm produce 100 units, this firm. Then total revenue 50 into 100, total cost is 50 into 100, because average total cost is 50. Then total cost and total revenue is equal to zero profit. So now this is in equilibrium. So all the firm like that. We assume all firm identical cost. Now suddenly demand decrease from D1 to D3. Now demand decrease. Earlier case demand increase. Now demand decrease. Then the earlier supply curve S1, the new demand curve shift D3 decrease, determine the price 40. So now all the firm in this industry got loss, because minimum average total cost is 50, price now 40. Then they are getting loss, but it can be above the minimum average variable cost. So or below the minimum average variable cost maybe. Then some firm will leave because of loss. So some existing firm see the no need to stay in this industry and produce, because they are facing loss. Then they leave the industry. When they leave the industry, what will happen? The market supply. Market supply is summation of individual supply. So when the firm leaves, then supply decrease. Supply curve shift leftward. So supply decrease. When the supply decrease, the new demand curve D3, then supply decrease. When the firm leave, then price started to increase. So then loss decrease. When firm will leave, again firm will leave because of loss. Then supply curve become S3 and D3. So that determine the price again as earlier price 50. That price minimum average total cost equal to the price, and the price equal to the marginal cost also. Then all the firm now existing, some firm left, the remaining firm, all firm get zero economic profit. So now the firm will not leave because they are getting normal profit. So again, if there is any change temporarily happen in the demand change, then again the long run equilibrium achieve. That long run equilibrium price equal minimum average total cost. So at the long run, all the firm get zero profit, normal profit in a competitive firm. So the leaving firm existing eliminate the loss. So we have shown so that in the long run, in a competitive market, a firm get normal profit. The price equal to minimum average total cost. But in the short run, a firm can get economic profit, a firm can get lost, and a firm can get normal profit, zero profit. But in the long run equilibrium, firm will get normal profit, zero economic profit. Price will be equal to the minimum average total cost. So in this our example, we assume constant cost industry. That means input price will not change. So entry and exit does not affect long run average total cost. So input price will not change, then long run average total cost will not change. Even many firm enter, demand for input increase, but input price will not change because input supply is abundant or something like that. So then input price, so even exit, even input demand for input decrease, price will not decrease input price. So constant cost industry, so constant resource price. So this is special case. So normally it is not like that. Normally when many firm and produce their demand for the input increase, then normally input price increase. That is increasing cost industry. So when the new firm enter, so the cost curve, all the single firm cost curve will go up. But in earlier example, we to simply explain the long run price equal minimum average total cost, we assume long run the constant cost industry. We can explain the same principle even increasing cost industry, the competitive firm in the long run, the price equal minimum average total cost. But if we have that increasing cost industry, it is little difficult to explain, but same equilibrium will achieve. So most industry, increasing cost industry, long run average total cost increase with the expansion. So specialized research. So decreasing cost industry also possible. A new firm enter and produce, so the input price may decrease. So normally most of the electronic items earlier it will be higher price. Then later we can see the price will go down. So only rich people buy the first because earlier it will be higher price. Then for the high-tech product, so they buy inputs from other producers. So earlier only one firm produced particular product, so only few producer will be there because the demand by only that producer for that input. But when new firm started to produce that product, so then demand for input increase. So many producer, accessory producer will produce parts. So then many producers will produce, then they will reduce the price. So and also cost of production also. So then for this producer, all the producers, the input price they can buy cheaper price. So because of competition among the input producers, so the cost, so there is a possible for the decreasing cost industry. So automobile, so many electronic item, you see why the price is decreasing. It should be normally should increase, but most of the electronic and the items, everything going down because of the many with that product increase. Many accessory producer will produce and sell at the lowest price, input price. So it is also possible. But so if it is a concern cost industry, so the long run supply curve should be industry. Supply curve like a horizontal, then firm demand will be like that. So the input for the input, so the increasing cost industry like that. So and the competitive market, we can show that competitive market is the efficient market. There we studied two types of efficiency: productive efficiency, allocative efficiency. Now we have shown that in the long run, price equal to minimum average total cost. Long run equilibrium, price equal to minimum average total cost. So we are producing this product at the minimum average total cost. When we produce any product at the minimum average total cost, then we achieve productive efficiency. So we are producing minimum average total cost. So we use our scarce resources for this production efficiently. So productive efficiency achieved. Allocative efficiency. We have shown the market supply and market demand determine the price. So the market demand say the marginal benefit to the society. The supply curve that show the marginal cost to the opportunity cost to the society. So marginal benefit, marginal cost is equal at that level of output. So we produce the right amount of that commodity. That is the amount the consumers want. So we produce the right amount the society want. So we didn't produce more than the society want. We didn't produce less than the society want. Then there is no shortage or no surplus. Then to produce that amount output, right amount, we allocate our resources. So we use our scarce resources efficiently to produce right amount that society wants. So allocation efficiency also achieved because price equal to the marginal cost. So both efficiency it's achieved only in the competitive market. So maximum, then society get all the benefit. So consumer get all the surplus, producer get all the surplus, then maximum benefit can gain from the trading have achieved. So you can see, so in the market, demand and supply determine the price. So the price equal to the marginal cost. So the allocative efficiency achieved. So you can see all the consumer surplus, possible surplus. That is the triangle of the yellow area. So all the consumer surplus, possible surplus go to the consumer. All the possible producer surplus go to the consumer producer. So this is the level of output give totally consumer and producer surplus maximum to the society. Society include consumer and producer. So maximum surplus gain by trading this commodity achieved to the society. Gains from trade is this area. So allocative efficiency achieved. We take this single firm graph. So price equal to minimum average total cost. So all the firm like this cost curve. So all the firm produce at the minimum average total cost. All the firm get zero economic profit. So all the firm produce minimum average total cost. So productive efficiency occurred. So pure competition has both in its long run equilibrium. Productive efficiency, allocative efficiency, it's occur in the long run in a competitive market. So efficiency gains from entry, so lower price and greater output, that is efficiency gain from. So purpose of drug patent, so we have patent rights. So all the countries give patent rights to the producer. They develop new technology by the research and development, because during the patent right, it's not a competitive firm. If it is a competitive firm, if there is no patent right, no one will spend money, no firm will not spend money to do the research. Because if they research and develop a new product or new technology, new product, then others simply copy without spending any money for the research. They simply, one firm spend billion rupees, $1 billion and develop a new product. If there is no barrier to other firm, then they will copy and they will get profit. So the firm develop this new product will not get enough profit to cover the cost they spend on the research and development. So there will not be no incentive to the firm spend money to the research and development. So new product we cannot get. That is why for a particular 5 years or period, the government give patent right that only that firm produce that product and sell for 5 years. Other firm cannot produce and sell it. So that 5 years they are the single producer, monopoly. Then they get the profit to cover the they spend on the research and development. Then after that, patent expired, then other firm can produce, and then after that it can become a competitive firm. So if we produce less than the right amount, we lost some benefit, deadweight loss. Okay, so we finished perfect competitive market. So we will go to the pure monopoly. So in this chapter 10, we will study pure monopoly. So the objective of this chapter, characteristics of pure monopoly, we will study as we studied in the pure competitive market, characteristics and profit maximizing output and price. So we study this market to see how the firm in this market behave to get maximum profit, what level they should produce and what level they had to sell. So profit maximizing output and price and economic effects of monopoly. So we will study for the society from which market we will get more benefit. So we study pure commodity market with the more efficient. So and how the perfect competitive market a firm behave. So they are price takers, and that price, what amount they have to produce in the short run and long run to get higher profit. Like that, here also we will study. So in the monopoly, he has power, market power, because he is the only producer. In the competitive market, firm doesn't have power. They are producing very tiny amount of the market demand. So that producing that small, very small amount, so they don't have any influence on the market. And also identical product. If they have differentiated product, they might have little market power, because if a differentiated product, there are some consumers want that particular product, even price increase little, but all are identical product. So there is no particular consumer loyal for that preference for that product, because identical product, all are producing same quality products. So now we have many shops. So that is like a monopolistic competition. So all are soap, but different quality. So in Vietnam, there are many ice cream. So Rio ice cream has some different quality. So even Rio ice cream increase the price, some people will go. But in the same ice cream, no different, then if they increase the price, they will not go. Identical. So in the pure competitive market, we say identical. So why people are going to spend more money if there is identical product? So they can differentiate not only quality of the product, the service quality. So in the restaurant, how they behave, how the other facilities also. So restaurant have, these are monopolistic competition. So different banks are monopolistic competition. So different banks give different service. The same, other things are same, other services are different. So here only one monopoly, only single producer. So he has a market power. He can set the price. So we will study the characteristics. So characteristics of monopoly: single seller. So he is the only producer. So no close substitute for that product. He is price maker. He is not a competitive market price taker. He has market power, only producer, or he can set the price. So price maker block entry at the new firm. He doesn't. This firm will not like other firm enter, so they will use the strategy to block the other firm enter, and also to promote their product sale. There is no other firm, so they don't need to compete by the price. So then by non-price competition, they can increase their sale. Advertisement and other methods are promotion, other methods are non-price competition. So I think I can stop here. Now 2 o'clock. So Friday we will study this monopoly. We will continue. Okay, students.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.